Come on, spin it, spin it, spin it.
We have a lot of pedally trails here in the Midwest. Having a lot of fork and suspension travel can sometimes be an impediment in these conditions. My Jeffsy AL Comp 29er has a pretty good amount of travel at 140 millimeters front and back. I love my bike, but I don't always need 140 mil of travel, at least in the rear. My current rear shock features just open and lockout positions. I wanted something more versatile, basically wanted a 3-position switch. This way I can run firmer compression on my local trails and still have a plusher ride for the bigger, gnarlier trails. There are a few things to think about when selecting a replacement shock. First, you need to know the length and the stroke of your shock. This is usually printed on the shock itself, or it's in the spec sheet of the bike. Check with your bike manufacturer if you're not sure. Next is to make sure you have the right bushings for your shock. Most of the time, you can just reuse the bushings from your existing shock if it's the same brand, like in my case. Again, check with the manufacturer to find out which size bushings your bike uses. First order of business is to pull the old shock and take out the old bushings to use in the new shock. I found this tool on eBay for about $10. The tool works fine except when the bushing is longer than 1.25 inches. Lucky for me, a lawnmower spark plug socket worked as a suitable alternative. After installing the bushings in the new shock, it was time to install it on the bike. A little tip to make the process easier is to zip tie the rear pivot in place. This way you're not trying to fiddle with the shock and pivot at the same time. Once it's installed, it's time to air up the shock. The Monarch Plus has a big air can and requires a lot of PSI to get the sag where you want it. You should start with a PSI number that is your body weight. For example, I'm 165 pounds and I put 165 PSI in the shock. From there, I added another 5 PSI, which got me to about 35% sag. If you're a heavier rider, keep in mind that this shock has a max PSI limit of 350. The installation was fairly straightforward. Next job is to get it tuned up. The shock change resulted in a small increase in weight, but we're done adding the heavier parts. The next few upgrades will begin shaving weight off the bike. Once the bike is done, hopefully we can get it out to the trails and see how it performs. If you have any questions about the upgrade or the shock, post it up in the comments. I hope you found this install entertaining. If so, please hit the like button, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Hope you enjoyed this leg of my journey. Thanks for watching.